Welcome back, guys, to another F1 2016 installment. It's the Belgian Grand Prix, the driver's circuit at Spa. It's round 13 and the second race on ultimate difficulty. Welcome back. We had a poor run out in Germany. It would appear some of the teams have done some big work on their cars. Force India and Red Bull both upgrading their packages, and you can see that puts Red Bull second place, very close to Mercedes. And I'm thinking this weekend we're going to be working on our car quite extensively, getting all those points from the practice programs and building and try and overtake Williams sooner rather than later. I skipped over the practice footage because, well, I just couldn't really be bothered to do it, if I'm honest. But you can see the results there. Perfect track, perfect tyre management, qualifying pace was a pass. That puts us at just over 1,500 points before qualifying. So, not a bad position to be in there. Here we are in qualifying. This is the end of my first Q1 run. I decided to go on the soft compound tyre. So we're going to cross the line now, and it's a 150 flat. And the reason why I didn't think that was too great is we were slower than Rio Harriento. And as we sat in the garage, you see us just tumbling down the order. And I think we fall to 20th, and I believe even 21st before I went out again on a set of super soft tyres. And just look at our delta. The delta for us on the super soft tyre was just so much better. Opening up the DRS, it's basically 2 seconds faster. We do a 148.2 and we move into 8th place, less than a second off the pace. So I was pretty happy with that. We were half a second, pretty much faster than Kevin Magnussen. Q2 was an awkward one because it started light rain, so we fitted the intermediate tyres. This is our first run. It was very slippery. The intermediates were not giving me a lot of grip. It's not even like I was running super low downforce. So here we come out of the bus stop chicane. We're charging towards the line. It's at 2 minutes 3.458. That puts us third at the moment. But when I went back to the garage, I saw the weather dried out a bit, but it still wasn't quite dry tyres. I might have got away with dry tyres in this weather, but I'd already committed myself to intermediates, and dry tyres were not going to cut it, because DRS got enabled on that lap that I did. You can see as we crossed the line after the checkered flag had fallen, we did get 8th place. So, purely by the miracle that no one else fitted dry tyres, we got through to Q3. We were 6 tenths faster than Carlos Sainz. Kevin Magnussen was 8 tenths slower than ourselves. So he's out and will start 13th on the grid. Here we go with our Q3 lap. It's the mandatory super soft tyre set. It's our second lap. First one wasn't great. I was using the set that would have been done for Q2, and it was scruffy. So we do a 48 flat, and that puts us in 8th place. What I did is I let the track, I let it be the basis of myself have loads of room to be able to string my laps together and not have to worry about it. Williams on pole though, and they didn't really do many upgrades to their car, so it's just that low drag setup must be helping them down the Camel Straight towards Les Combes.
In the 48 races held at Spa between 1950 and 2015, the race winner has only started from pole position on 16 occasions. Qualifying yesterday may have set the order for today, but expect the unexpected here at the Belgian Grand Prix. As the saying goes, of course, anything can happen. And you know what? It usually does. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high-quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. Anthony Davidson is alongside me in the commentary box to take you through all the action today. Now, it's a closely matched field here in Spa, Ant. So where do you think we're going to see somebody make a difference?
If they're as close as we're expecting them to be, especially through the midfield, then being able to keep the front tyres in good condition could make the difference. You always lose a chunk of downforce at the front when you're in the turbulent air of another car, which tends to cause understeer, which in turn causes front tyre degradation. Now, too much damage there could force an early pit stop and put you at a slight disadvantage, so the drivers will want to be careful not to be too aggressive early on in the Grand Prix.
Okay, remember to brake early for turn 1 as the pack's going to bunch up.
Okay, so as we can see, it's light rain conditions at the start here, so who knows about that low drag Williams setup that I was mentioning. Didn't really want to formulate a strategy, if I'm honest, because the light rain at the start, I just figured that I would pit sort of as and when and just choose the appropriate tyres, but strictly speaking, I'm pretty sure we might have been able to get away with a one stop, probably a soft compound tyre, followed by a medium. It would have been a two stop, of course, had it been the actual race, because we would have started on the super soft tyre that we used in Q2. So strictly speaking, I'm thinking it will still be the same, apart from we'll pit from intermediates to soft, and then probably the mediums from that point onward there. And we're actually starting the grid in 7th, but I don't remember why. I don't remember if there was a penalty handed out to someone in qualifying, but looks like we're starting 7th here. That means we're on the inside line on the run up to La Source hairpin. So I suppose we'll see. I mean, Spa recently has had some interesting first corner collisions. I mean, 2012, you know, there was that massive accident there. 1998 as well, you know, a huge crash for Spa when it all got red flagged. So hopefully everyone will keep their nose clean as we pull off quite late into our grid slot there. It looks like we were following Kimi Räikkönen over. We're starting behind Seb Vettel. The Ferraris recently have not been that fast starting, so hopefully we're going to use that to our advantage. We've got Alonso just over to our left, and Sainz. I think Massa might have had the penalty. I'm not 100% sure. But essentially, we're just waiting for the grid to line up, and then we'll be heading towards the lights for round 13 and the Belgian Grand Prix. I think everyone's just finally filling up their grid slots now, as the rain's coming down here in Belgium. As we go to 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And the Belgian Grand Prix is go. Once again, it looks like the Ferrari's not so great on the start. Raikkonen pulling out from behind the Red Bull. We're going to take a look down the inside here as we do. Taking a look, there's Seb Vettel. We're down the inside. Vettel runs out wide. That's Daniel Ricciardo he's made contact with. Oh, he's come across the track. He's hit the Ferrari. Oh, what's gone on there? What's happened? There's been a big accident. Let's flick over. Look at this view from Vettel. So he's hit Raikkonen. He's gone into one of the McLarens. Alonso has mounted a Williams. Jesus Christ, what's happened there? Let's have a look at this from onboard Jensen Button's perspective now, as this has clearly been a huge crash at the start. Felipe Massa appears to be starting on the medium compound tyre there, so he clearly believes it's going to dry out sooner rather than later. Button's been tagged going into the first corner. You're going to see Vettel's incident now as he comes across, hits the Ferrari, comes across, Alonso catches a wheel. Button's got caught up in this pit. He's been spun around, and it's just caused pandemonium behind as everyone's hit each other. Both McLarens facing backwards, debris everywhere, and you see a few of the back markers on the medium tyres. I suppose they've got nothing to lose and everything to gain here. Let's have another look at this. This is from Alonso's perspective, I believe now, as he's gonna mount a wheel. Look at the how Felipe Massa did not get a serious head injury from that. I will never know. Let's finally look on board with Fernando Alonso as we go round the outside. That's Kimi Räikkönen. There's our Renault. So at this point, it's no longer to do with us. It looks like Vettel got caught on the Red Bull. He's come across. The wheels, and they all just got integrated. And Alonso's been spun round. He's facing backward. There's a Haas and a Toro Rosso, and it's just a mess. It's just an absolute mess. And there is no way they're not going to call a safety car for this one, as we hit up Eau Rouge for the first time, getting it a bit wrong in wet conditions. Of course, it is going to be a lot more difficult. Bottas still leads this race, and there it is. There's the safety car. Of course, it was the safety car would get called out, because that was reminiscent of 1998 there, the race that I was talking about, where it just got red flagged because everyone ploughed into each other. So here we go. It's now the end of lap 3. You can see that it's now a hell of a lot drier. It does dry pretty quickly here at Spa. And of course, the smart money here, because the safety car's going around one more time, the smart money's to pit. That's exactly what Bottas, Hamilton, and myself too. I can imagine that Mercedes did not call in Rosberg because they didn't want to double stack and essentially put him to the back of the pack. But, I mean, that's probably going to happen anyway, based upon the fact... I mean, not everyone's bunched up as of yet, in all fairness. They might have got away with it here, Mercedes. So we're going to come in, and we're going to set the fit the soft tyre, as I was talking about on the strategy screen at the start. K-Mag is in the pit, so he's not going to lose out too much. It would appear Hamilton's on the medium tyre. Quite an interesting call, because it's going to be colder in the early part of the Grand Prix. So hopefully he can get those mediums up to temperature, or maybe not, and we might get past him. Rio Harriento gets past us, 5th place. He's still on intermediate tyres, so clearly Manor not wanting to stack their cars. And the end of lap 4 is looking like when we're going to go racing again. So Bottas is 3rd. Vettel and Rosberg are still up there. They are, of course, on intermediate tyres, so they are going to fall all the way down the field here. And Harriento is not wanting to get going. Look at him. He's got 0 grip on those intermediates, and we have to get past him as soon as possible. And just as the green flag goes, we're going to punch it through the bus stop, go round. I mean, he was pitting anyway. So here we go. It's Bottas, Hamilton, then myself, and Carlos Sainz in Toro Rosso up in 4th position, having a fantastic start to the race, picking his way through the carnage. And it's just going to be like a lottery of fastest laps here. There we go, a 2:24 for Verstappen there. But of course, those aren't racing laps. Here we go, lap 7. It's now a few laps later. It's starting to warm up. Hamilton's taking the lead. Ricciardo has a look into Eau Rouge. He would be suicidal to try that one. As we go up there, he's got Tag Heuer power. And we've also got Kimi Raikkonen in the slipstream of that Red Bull. And it goes to show our straight line speed is pretty good. I mean, Ricciardo was slipstreaming us. Bear in mind, DRS was not available on this lap. So here we go, it's now lap 11. Raikkonen's got past Daniel Ricciardo, and I think this is going to be the best opportunity for someone to try and get past us. We're charging towards Eau Rouge now. Raikkonen in a bit of the slipstream. He's going to have a look up the inside of Eau Rouge. Can he get the move done? No. It would appear we've taken the racing line. We've gone across. Raikkonen couldn't get through. Further down the straight though, DRS and slipstream. He's going to throw it down the inside of Les Combes. We're going to try and hold it around the outside. It's got a lot of curb on the inside there, but we've held off our position and we are still in 11th place. We're going to fend off this position for as long as we can, but it's now the end of lap 11. We've taken a very wide line through the bus stop, and I take a conscious decision now, sooner rather than later, before my tyres go off, to pit. The lap around Spa is the longest on the calendar, and the undercut is so powerful because of the fresh tyres for the longer period. With that in mind, we're coming in for a set of medium compound tyres. I think Raikkonen came in as well. You know, you can see we're pretty much on the same strategy as everyone else in this race because of the rain here. Rosberg goes past us on medium tyres, so he now is going to be like in a net sort of 2nd or 3rd, but he's up there, but he's going to have to pit again because he went on mediums to begin with. We're going to slot in ahead of Gutierrez there, who I believe was one of the runners who started on medium tyres. Magnussen now in the pits there. You've got a Ferrari and a Mercedes ahead of us. I believe that's Vettel. It is indeed Vettel and Alonso, so they're peeling in for their next stops. So I believe this is going to put us up into, let's have a look, as we go past everyone that's currently in the pits, we go up into 4th place. So that means Rosberg's net, well, we're net 3rd because Rosberg has to pit again. There's Daniel Ricciardo, so it would appear the undercut showed that we did what we needed to do, and we've stayed ahead in our net 3rd position. Here comes lap 14. There's Valtteri Bottas. He's out of the race there, and we get the VSC purely because I believe he's going to be on the exit of Les Combes here. Bottas had an engine failure. You're going to see it here. The delta was ridiculous. We had to crawl it. There's Bottas. So he's had an engine failure from the lead, I believe. So that, of course, dropped him down. Daniel Ricciardo on lap 16 has got a tremendous run out of La Source, and he's put himself ahead of us. The only problem you've done there, Daniel, was you've given me slipstream as well as DRS. As we get it completely wrong going through Eau Rouge, we're going to tuck in the slipstream, open up the DRS, and that is all she wrote for Daniel Ricciardo as we go flying past him. Back up into 2nd place now due to the Valtteri Bottas retirement of a few laps ago, and now we're on lap 17. Kimi Raikkonen's going to do a very similar thing to Daniel Ricciardo. No, he's going to sit behind us. Ricciardo this time not going to try and overtake us. He's going to wait for the DRS. Has a brief look into Eau Rouge, which puts us slightly off foot for the entry. Or we get it wrong at the top of the hill. I think Ricciardo hasn't had the best run through there though. As Ricciardo, Raikkonen's right alongside him. Felipe Massa sitting in the slipstream. We've tried to just defend our inside line. Raikkonen's super late on the brakes. Everyone's super late. We've managed to keep it due to being on the inside. I think that's off-footed Raikkonen a little bit there. But Daniel Ricciardo stays up in the 3rd place, and everyone's just attacking us now. Down the Kemmel straight into Les Combes. Ricciardo topping out very early with DRS. Can we keep it round the outside into Les Combes? We've gone very deep. We've had to take a lot of curb, but we've done it. Lap 19 now as we come through the bus stop chicane. We've unfooted ourselves on the curb on entry. That's not exactly ideal. Our rival, Kimi Raikkonen, is now sitting behind us in 3rd place. He's got tremendous traction off of that final bus stop chicane, and he's taken second place into La Source. We're going to make a bold inside diving move there. Took too much curb. Raikkonen with the wide line, getting a good run. We've actually got pretty good traction ourselves there, and we're going to have a look into Eau Rouge. We're just too far back. Can we do it on the inside of Eau Rouge? Raikkonen holds it. He's off-footed at the top. We've had to go wide to prevent an accident. Banging side pods. DRS activated, and we're still in third place as Sergio Perez now, from out of absolutely nowhere, comes charging down the Camel Straight and briefly, I believe, has taken third position. But look at this now, we're coming up to some scrapping back markers. We've got Marcus Ericsson and Max Verstappen, who's having a poor Grand Prix by the looks of things. The blue flags are waved. These guys are still racing. We're going to take a conscientious decision to just throw it down the inside of the no-name corner. And because they're stuck side by side, they've caused a massive bottleneck in the traffic. And this is exactly what we needed. That the back markers are going to play a huge role in this. So as we go into Pouhon here, have a look at this. Raikkonen, Perez, Massa, all stuck behind Verstappen and Ericsson. And I believe Raikkonen's made contact and got some damage. Massa's managed to dive it down the inside there. And Kevin Magnussen has fought his way through. And I believe he's now one of the top 5 runners. We've gone wide in the first Stavolo. Second one, we're going to come out. We're Rich Mix. We're running it. This is the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Felipe Massa sits in our slipstream with the Williams low drag setup. Can he recover from where Bottas failed? Round the outside of Blanchimont. Bottas. No, Massa has come back through. He's made collision with our side pod. It spat him into the barrier. And Felipe Massa is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. And who is the biggest benefactor? Kevin Magnussen elevates himself into third position. We come through one lap later. We're going to claim second place. Hamilton won this by a country mile. We take second place in the Belgian Grand Prix. It's a 2-3 for Renault. What a drive today. A lot of defensive driving on the long straights, but we've shown a world-class performance.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the drivers.
So there it is, second place, 40 seconds behind Hamilton. Kevin Magnussen brings it home second. We beat Raikkonen to the line. Daniel Ricciardo dropped down to 5th in the end. But we've got Pascal Wehrlein in 9th. And we retain 4th in the Drivers' Championship, closing the gap. There's 10 points between me and Kimi Raikkonen there. And I think Renault are now going to... I mean, where's Magnussen in this? I don't know where he's managed to climb to in the championship. He's had a couple of podium finishes, so... But there we are. We're 4th place solidified. Big gap to McLaren Honda, so hopefully that means that we're going to have a solid position over them for the remainder of the season. And here come the resource points for the Grand Prix. And I think this is going to give us the scope and the opportunity there to be able to upgrade the car. Because I believe the next round's in Monza. And in Monza, Renault Power is not exactly going to cut it in Monza. So we're going to need something special here to be able to defend a good position. I genuinely think it's going to be a bogey circuit for us. So I think with that in mind, we're going to have a look at the old development of the car as it rains now after the Grand Prix in Belgium. Let's have a little look at the car. We've got 1,800 resource points. So with that in mind, let's stick a nice little upgrade on the engine. Yep, that's exactly what we need. Drag to be able to get that top speed, I think is what we're going to go for there. I was having a look, seeing if I could get 3 upgrades. It is possible, so we're going to go for a drag upgrade. And then finally, the fuel efficiency, I believe, is what we're finally going to go for there. And yes, it indeed is. So 3 big upgrades that are hopefully going to be ready for Monza. That puts us, it puts us within touching distance of Williams. So we're going to have more power, and a higher top end speed due to reduced drag. But we got second in the Belgian Grand Prix. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you for the support on the series. Leave a like if you have enjoyed, and of course comment any feedback down below. Subscribe to be the first notified about the content coming to the channel, and I will see you all next time.